you can tell when your car battery's dying. But with your water heater, you'll never know until it starts leaking. Before you buy another tank, consider a Navien tankless water heater. No storage tank to heat or leak. Lower energy bills and endless hot water for spa-like comfort. All backed by Navien's strong warranty. If your water heater is over 8 years old, it's time to check out Navien at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your wages are being garnished. We can stop that now. It's hard enough to pay your bills when things are good, let alone when a big chunk of your take-home pay is gone before you even get your check. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne, and I can stop the garnishment and get the creditors off your back immediately, often the same day as our consultation. Both Chapter 7 and 13 provide bankruptcy relief, but choosing the right chapter is crucial. In a free consultation, we can create a plan to get your finances back under your control. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. It's our loud and local band of the week. This week, it's Pound. Our local band of the week is Pound. You want to find out where they're playing, how you get their music, just go to the BJ and Migs page of KISW.com.
They have a new record. Dude, these guys are nuts. First of all, shout out to Ryan the Beard from Metal Shop. This is his band. They're awesome. You can see them in 10 days. They're going to be playing Monday, June 17th at the Funhouse.
Yeah.
And also, they just so happen to be playing a Pain in the Grass. They're going to be opening up for Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson on the Saturday show. So that's very cool. Congrats to the boys in Pound.
And if you love local music, you know what you're going to love, loud and local. Sunday nights, 10 o'clock, 2 solid hours of great music from the Pacific Northwest. Bands like Pound.
Let's play B-Migs.
I will beat anyone that calls in to play the game. He's smarter than you. He'll make you look lame. 60 seconds on the clock. You're going down and I'm gonna rock. It's time to play the game. So everybody scream his name. Beat Migs, don't be a loser. Whoa, Beat Migs, you're a loser. It is time to beat Migs. And guys, we made it. It's Friday.
Going old school.
I had to. Someone said, good morning. I'm hoping to get a special request played when you do B Migs. Can I hear the original version of Friday by Rebecca Black? Can you do that for me, Steve? Thanks in advance.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. That's the one. Daddy's jumping. Yeah, we need Daddy to jump.
He didn't know how to jump to Rebecca Black.
I was just going to slow groove. So yes, happy Friday, everyone. Finally, I know, it was a long week. Let's get to our contestant today. We've got Travis in Olympia. Travis, are you there?
Yes.
Excellent. What's he playing for today, Steve?
Judas Priest tickets are going to be over at the ShoWare Center on June 21st. Go to KISW.com for all the details. If you want tickets, they're available now at livenation.com.
All right, Steve, get out of here. Get out. For those playing at home, Travis will have 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. Travis, you can pass all you want, but you will only get 3 guesses per question. Are you ready?
Let's rock and roll.
What is the name of the character Larry David plays on the TV show Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No idea. Pass.
Which famous artist painted The Last Supper?
Da Vinci.
Yes. Andre Agassi is famous for playing what sport?
Tennis.
Yes. What is the capital of California?
Sacramento.
Yes. In baseball, what number references the shortstop?
3.
No.
4.
No.
5.
No. What is the name of Elvis Presley's compound?
Graceland.
Yes. Who played Sarah Connor in the '84 film The Terminator?
Pass.
What kind of creature was Sam on The Muppet Show?
No idea. Pass.
In fitness, what does the acronym BMI stand for?
Body mass index.
Yes, a female horse that is too young to be called a mare is called a what?
Mare. Pony.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correct.
I might have.
Linda Hamilton. That's her name.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
too late. Hopefully that won't be the deciding factor, but it very well
I might have done well
be.
today.
Really? You might have?
Oh yeah, I think I would have. I think I would have beat both of them.
So where do you think you would have scored on that? Just
I could have been an 8.
Ooh,
at least.
You could have been an 8.
Yeah, I might have got to a 9.
Oh.
Because I thought of an answer just in time, and I might have beat the music.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, it's
We're talking about his hot score.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hot or not, BJ is a 9.
not bad. I'll be an 8 on the hot or not.
Could have been.
Right. Yeah.
Are you ready, Steve?
Oh, yes.
What is the name of the character Larry David plays on the TV show Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Larry.
Yes. Which famous artist painted The Last Supper?
Ooh, Jesus.
No.
Oh. Michelangelo.
No.
Leonardo.
Yes.
Da Vinci.
Yes. Andre Agassi is famous for playing what sport?
Tennis.
Yes. What is the capital of California?
Sacktown. Sacramento.
Yes. In baseball, what number references the shortstop?
Oh. 6.
Yes. What is the name of Elvis Presley's compound?
Dollywood.
No.
Graceland.
Yes. Who played Sarah Connor in the 84 film The Terminator?
Your clothes. Give them to me.
No.
Linda Hamilton.
Yes. What kind of creature was Sam on The Muppet Show?
Sam is an eagle.
Yes. In fitness, what does the acronym BMI stand for?
Big muscles. Yeah.
No.
Body mass index.
Yes. Ooh, took too long. Didn't get to that last one, but you win. Speaking of Dolly, 9-5.
Oh.
Very nice. Sorry about that, Travis.
That's all right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Oh.
Oh, you are the man today.
I did good. He did good, that kid.
Quick question for the Rev.
Uh-huh.
Are you planning on getting hardcore today?
Hardcore? Why?
You got a Bang energy drink in front of you.
That's not my bang.
Oh, okay.
That's Vicky's bang.
Okay, my bad.
I'm not that hardcore.
Would you like some?
No,
What are
I
you
don't
banging
want.
up for, Vicky? You tired?
I've had family in town, so I've been having to do a lot of driving around and seeing them and staying up late.
Oh.
Family stuff.
So are you like on the fence? Are you thinking about banging it up?
I'm totally thinking about banging it up.
Yeah, that ain't my bang. That stuff's really, really good, but not this early in the morning. Not for
Yeah,
me.
when people come to town, especially with our job, I always tell people, I still am working, and I also have a weird schedule, so you're not going to see me much.
No, yeah.
Come on the weekends, they say.
Oh, no, they're like, are you leaving already? I'm like, it's 9 o'clock.
It's way past my bedtime.
It's like, no, it's okay. I'm like, no, it is not.
Vacationers never understand that the people they're visiting aren't on vacation.
Yeah, right. One question you didn't get to. A female horse that is too young to be called a mare is called a what?
A pup?
No, a pup.
A kid?
A kid, no.
Is it a colt?
No.
Is it a gelding?
No.
Is it
A little filly?
A filly.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would have beat you, Steve.
Eventually, if you had like 8 guesses, sure.
Well, no, my 2 guesses were gelding and filly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There were just so many
great
coming
law
at me.
firm in the Pioneer Square area.
Yeah, gelding, filly, and bang, bang.
Congratulations, Steve. You won with 9 correct.
Caller number 9, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get tickets to see Judas Priest at the Showwear Center this month. Caller number 9, 206-421-ROCK. Well, Steve, we called it, we demanded it, and Ken Jennings says yes, it is going to happen concerning the Jeopardy showdown with him and James Holzhauer.
It's got to be inevitable. But Jeopardy only does those special tournaments every so often. And obviously, I can't get 29-year-old Ken to show up with his sleek 29-year-old brain. It's got to be me with my broke-down brain.
Oh, he's already kind of setting the table that he's not going to do all that well.
Yeah.
It's old Ken Jennings. I'm not as smart as I used to be.
There is something to be said about that. I mean, at least for me, when I play a lot of the games I play, I'm not as good as I used to be when I was in my 20s. And I know that when I play people in their 20s and they run rings around me. Yeah.
I'm surprised by that. I would assume that, if you're like 90, I can understand maybe the brain's moving a little bit slower. But I would have thought, especially with a trivia game like Jeopardy, that you would get
you would have more knowledge.
Yeah,
You get.
there's something about the brain being able to retain the information and firing it off as quickly as you need to for a game like that.
Sure.
That's where I find myself like, wow, these, and I only know it because the game Magic the Gathering is a really intense thinking game, and I've noticed that my skills are just worse than they were when I was much younger and played.
Do you guys have, like we have in hockey and beer league, you have your regular all ages that can get involved, over 18, of course, and you don't play, and then there's also an over 40 league.
Yeah.
Is there an over 40 league for Magic?
I wish there was. I would do well in an over 40 league. Yeah, I really would. I mean, because when I play people my age or older, or if I play really little kids, I do really well. But against people that are in their 20s and early 30s, it's a challenge for me because they're really good and they know their stuff, and yeah.
We need to start an over 40 league for your. Or you should have an over 40. No, that probably wouldn't be much fun. I think you like hanging out with the youngins.
I do like hanging out with the youngins.
Matthew McConaughey way, but I think you like being around a bunch of people that are younger than you.
Yeah, the trouble is that games that are just games of mathematical equation and quick firing, I'm not good. I'm much better as an older person at social deduction games, because then I can BS my way, or negotiation games, because I have more experience on the planet, so my wisdom comes in handy. But just the normal stuff, like you used to do well when you were younger.
Yeah.
Like video games, Steve. Do you think
gosh,
you're...
no.
I'm much worse at video games than I used to be.
But in all fairness, when we were younger, especially for me, I mean, growing up in the Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and even, when I was super young, Atari, the controllers were way different.
Yeah.
So I didn't grow up with 15 damn buttons to try and navigate with one hand.
You're right.
15 damn buttons. You are right on with you 15 damn buttons. And which one's the LB and which one's the other one? I don't understand.
So funny, because the only reason why my grandma could play, it was the Sega Genesis that had 3 buttons, and she would only play Sonic because all 3 buttons jumped. But she would still video game.
See, I contend that video games these days are easier than like Mario. Like, if you go back and play Mario, those games are hard. I die in like the first 10 minutes of playing it. Whereas like Grand Theft Auto, I can play that for 16 hours.
There's an interesting thing about that.
I wonder, yeah.
Yeah, because was it Jace Hall, who's a big video gamer, and a lot of folks may know Jace. He used to do a lot of great videos, and I think he's got Twin Galaxies now. Mm-hmm. I forget the game where you had to stop a bomber. It was an old Atari game where you just had to go back and forth and catch bombs or something like that. I forget what it's called. But that is like the oldest school game ever. And he contested, like you, Danny, that game is one of the hardest games.
Kaboom.
Yeah.
I love Kaboom.
Yeah. So, dude, he's a Kaboom master, and he said, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much of a gamer and whatever you play Call of Duty. Come see if you can beat me at Kaboom. And of course, Kaboom is simple. You just go left and right. That's all you got to do, pretty much.
Yep.
He kicks everybody's ass on Kaboom, and it's like wicked old school. So there might be something there, Dan.
Well, and then also you got to consider the fact that those old games didn't have tutorials. It was just you figure it out.
True.
And now, especially with something like a GTA or any games now, you have a 15 to 30 minutes, sometimes even longer with Red Dead, of a tutorial to teach you how to play the game.
What was that one game when we were younger? Combat.
Combat.
Yeah. Like the dumbest looking tank.
Yeah.
And it just moved real slow. And whenever you had an opportunity, you're going against somebody, you just shoot a cannon at them.
Yeah, that's all you do. Yeah, I will tell you, Steve, I'm with you. The controllers, I got lost. I could not handle the Xbox level PS2. I just couldn't handle those controllers. There was too many buttons. But I will say this. There was a game, and a lot of folks will remember this PC game. If you know Warcraft, the same company made a game called StarCraft. And basically, you just run around trying to create forces and then go invade somebody else's area. Well, I played this with Joe a lot when he was a little kid. And I used to kick his ass. And then one day into his teens, we played. I couldn't beat him. Joey then at one point looked at me and said, I'll tell you what, Dad, I'll give you a 20-minute head start. So he didn't do anything. Gave me 20 minutes to build up all my forces. He went out, he made breakfast. Then he came back. Basically, I should have killed him. Yeah. He still wrecked me.
That's awesome.
That's when I
Good
knew.
for you, Joe.
Yeah, that's when I knew I was done. It was like my skills were deteriorating, and he was a young buck that could just do whatever he needed to do. And that's a PC controller, Steve, so those controllers never change. It's just your mouse and whatever you got to do.
Right.
And I sucked.
Hey, somebody want to know, BJ, do you smack talk kids at board games?
No. It depends if I know the people. If I know the people, I do a lot of smack talk.
Totally does. That's his entire game.
If I know somebody,
your mom and dad aren't the only ones going to spank you right now.
But not little kids I don't know.
No, I've had people come up to me. They're like, at first I thought BJ was just really mean, and then I realized he was just messing with us. That's all about his strategy.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, that's all I got.
Yeah, they
wears you down.
Yeah, they think like, oh my God, I don't know if I can game with this person again, and then they figure out that is what's going on.
I've had some people that won't game with me again.
Me?
Yeah. Well, there's Vicky. There's that.
I won't play poker with you.
Well, you never played poker with me anyway.
I don't want to play poker with anyone.
Okay, that makes sense.
But you're at the top of my list of people I don't want to play poker with.
You want to play poker with me. Joey loves playing poker with me because I go on tilt and I end up basically being a guy he calls a donator, and I'll give you all my money.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm the perfect guy to play poker with if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, Steve, don't play with me.
No, because you don't. Anytime I win, you just are so upset.
Oh, that's a fact.
That's with everything. Anger.
Oh, yeah, but Rev, listen, you and I
and the negative energy,
and
man.
Joey D's, we know what we're doing. Steve literally doesn't know all the cards.
I'm with you.
And he wins, and you go, okay, you don't even know how you won. Get off this table.
More often than not, whenever I've ever done tournaments and I've won, I didn't even know I won until they started pushing all the chips in my direction.
Yeah.
So I would just sit there stoically hoping that they were going to come to me. I didn't know if I won or lost. And then when it does, I'm like, yeah.
So you can understand why I hate you, okay?
Fine.
Yeah, all right. Got a popular actor that says he regrets the decisions that he made. And these are decisions that made him successful, and he still regrets them. I'll tell you who said that at 7:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. You guys remember Hugh Grant?
Yeah.
Okay. I know you do. Danny, Vicky, you know Hugh Grant? Yeah. All right, cool.
Not much, huh?
I can't name it. I know who the name. I just can't name anything he's in.
He was in like Bridget Jones's Diary.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people remember him from.
Oh, okay. I remember
the British guy that was in all the romantic comedies.
Like 2 Weeks Notice with Sandra Bullock. That was the only one I really liked.
And he had sex with a hooker.
Yeah, he did. And Elizabeth Hurley.
I forgot about that.
Those are the days.
Yeah.
Totally. Was he like on top of the world at that time? And then he was on top of...
Yeah, a lot of worlds, yeah.
Alexis?
Yeah. He just did an interview with People magazine where he admitted that he wished he made more interesting choices when it came to his career. I don't know. I think being on top of that hooker was an interesting choice.
He was in a car in Sunset Strip with the prostitute.
Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with, making those interesting choices. Well, back in the 90s, Hugh says he was the romantic comedy guy. Wow, it's hard to believe. It was like over 20 years ago, pretty much.
That's why I know who he is, but I never watched those movies.
I did. Yeah,
Four Weddings and a Funeral.
My wife and I watched them. Because I love British stuff, and he's British. And of course, when you're a married couple, you find yourself watching those.
See, for me, it was the 90s. I wasn't really dating much, so I didn't really have a reason to watch any of these movies.
Yeah, good point.
Especially the early 90s.
Yeah. He was the guy, though. He was the romantic comedy guy. I mean, I'm sure made a lot of money playing in those movies, but he says every decision I ever made was probably wrong. He said after Four Weddings and a Funeral, which is in 94, he said, the world was my oyster. I should have made interesting decisions and done different stuff. Instead, I repeated myself almost identically about 17 times in a row. I took everything. The worse it was, the quicker I took it.
Well, he had that one role with Divine Brown for $60 where she did something, spoken to his microphone.
And how?
I forgot her name until I just looked at the story. Remember Divine Brown? That was a big deal.
Divine Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, he made a lot of money, though. I mean, he can regret the fact that he's not maybe, I don't know, the Meryl Streep of movies with all the cool, interesting, different movies he's made, but he's made a ton of cash.
But who is the Meryl Streep of movies?
Well, besides me, yeah, right. You're right. That's not many people.
I love of all people you use as an example of the ultimate.
She is the ultimate.
She's not the ultimate.
Oh, you know what? You don't know acting. We can't have this conversation.
Keanu Reeves is a better actor.
Wow. Okay. I know you're trolling me. I'm just going to.
I'd rather see a Keanu Reeves movie over a Meryl Streep movie any day of the week.
Well, yeah, a lot of people would, no doubt about it. But I'm not getting this discussion with you.
Fine.
I can't. Why? Every time you catch me with this, I can't. Hugh says, quote, most of those romantic comedies I can look squarely in the face. One or two are shockers, but on the whole, I can look them in the face and people like them. And I'm a big believer that our job is to entertain, which is true. I mean, like even with Keanu Reeves, look, he's no Meryl Streep, but I enjoyed the hell out of all the John Wick movies, including Parabellum.
Right.
Loved it, and he's making a ton of cash and good for him. Good for both of them. In their own world, they're doing a great job on a lot of levels. And Hugh Grant, too.
It's any art form, like music, too. There's certain bands that are always going to be the critic's choice, but sometimes you just want a good, dumb rock song.
It's so true.
Or even pop song, for that matter.
It's so true, Steve. Even in our business of radio, one of the legendary guys, Kid Craddock, I remember that he used to feel bad that he wasn't as hip as some of the other people he thought were really good on the radio. And we'd be like, Kid, you're super successful. But he was more, I would say, I guess, like in his brain, he was more like Keanu Reeves and not like Meryl Streep, and he thought he should be more like Meryl Streep. He was kind of like Hugh Grant. It's like Hugh Grant's had a great career, but for some reason he thought he should be more.
Yeah.
And it's like, Kid, you're fantastic. What are you talking about? But
right, needs Keanu Reeves, and then we're Pauly Shore.
You give yourself that much
high energy mediocrity at its best.
You give yourself that much credit, huh?
Yeah, I think we're at that level.
All right, thanks. All right. I don't know if you're at Pauly Shore level.
Well, the sad thing is, I was trying to think of who's a goofball actor nowadays. I can't think of anybody that would be on who would be this generation's Pauly Shore.
Well, there's I can think of Ernest. Like, who's Ernest?
That's even more distant.
That's deeper.
Yeah, who's Ernest? Who's Pauly Shore? Could you say The Rock is? He's not a great actor.
He's the best actor in the world.
He doesn't. Well, he does do a lot of dumb comedies.
Like all the goofballs are really, really popular. Like Seth
Rogen.
Seth Rogen,
Yeah, she's
Jonah
right.
Hill. Like, they're all lovable.
Will Ferrell's kind of becoming one.
Okay, Adam Sandler.
But see, Will Ferrell was
Adam
never.
Sandler, yeah.
But Pauly
We'll
Shore
stick with
never.
Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore was never at their level.
I
You
do
know what
love
I mean?
Pauly Shore, though.
Yeah.
Pauly Shore was awesome.
Weasel.
Yeah, but he was Steve's got a point. Like, there's Ernest, there's Pauly Shore. We knew them, but they never were super, super popular. They're kind of goofy and stupid. And Arnold was that way for action movies, but then he really became like. Do you think that Pauly Shore and Ernest are rich like Adam Sandler?
No, not even close.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody who's doing mediocre movies like those guys did, but still enough that they could have a name.
I don't think we have it. Someone says Jake Paul. That's a YouTube guy. He's
okay
dolt.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about him.
That's a nice word for him.
Yeah.
Is he an idiot?
Piece of crap.
He's always a piece of crap.
Horrible human being.
Yeah. Him and his brother Logan.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I mean, you can't say that Ernest or Pauly Shore were horrible human beings. They were just stupid entertainers.
If you said that.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Tyler Perry? He does all those Medea movies.
He's no Pauly Shore.
Yeah, Tyler Perry's also super successful.
Is he?
Yeah. Wicked successful.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever figure it out, so we're just going to have to move on.
Okay, thanks, buddy. If somebody has a great example of who the Pauly Shore of our generation is, let us know. We can't figure anybody out. Yeah. So Hugh Grant, though, he regrets the decisions he's made, even though these decisions he's made are fantastic.
It's the lukewarm topic of the day.
He thought his life choices, they could have been more interesting, and so we want to ask you, what is the most interesting life choice that you have ever made? Whatever that even means to Hugh Grant. I think Divine Brown was an interesting life choice. I really do. 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999. What is the most interesting life choice that you have ever made? We'll take your calls, your texts after Pearl Jam on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Hugh Grant just admitted that he wished that he made more interesting choices when it came to his career based on this. What is the most interesting life choice that you have ever made? 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999.
This is a good text, BJ. Joining the Marines, been the most interesting life choice I've ever made. The experiences, good and bad, were more than what I expected and changed me for the rest of my life, ultimately in a positive way.
I'm really glad to hear that, because obviously going in the military, it can have all kinds of effects on you, and the ones that really have to go and serve and be in any kind of wartime situation. I got a lot of respect for folks like that, but I hear good things like that from people that, the military has really made a great, great impact on their life.
Oh, well, I look at my brother. I mean, the life stories he's got can last forever. I mean, sometimes he's not even one to ever talk or brag about some of the ridiculous stuff that he did overseas, in Iraq and Afghanistan. Sometimes they'll come out in conversation. I'm just like, Can we pause for a second? We need to revisit what you just said.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, I don't really want to talk about it. He's just such a humble guy, but I mean, he's won awards and been recognized for some of the great stuff that he's done.
And you talked about the kind of kid he was. I mean, it really turned his life around and turned him into a pretty great man.
Oh, easily. I don't know what his life would have been like had he not gotten involved and joined the Navy.
Take a look at you. I think we see what his life would be like. He would be, he would be the ridicule of millions.
No, the angel of our parents' eyes.
Oh, I forgot. That's right.
And
all
apple.
Yeah, the apple.
And the apple.
And the apple.
Yeah.
Everything.
All the A's.
All the good stuff.
Yeah,
not all the A's. Watch yourself.
I will tell you this. I'm a bit envious because I feel like there's some great brotherhood bonding that happens with guys in the military. And I would imagine, too, women as well in the military. That's just that brotherhood, sisterhood that, I don't know if you ever have those kind of close relationships the way they do because of everything they go through. And there's something to be said about that I'm kind of, I'm envious of that kind of closeness.
Mine's just recent and it's crazy, but like getting super deep into the world of independent wrestling. Not only just like ring announcing, which was already great stories and great experiences, but now actually wrestling.
Yeah, that's a very interesting life choice. I see the video of you getting your ass thrown all over the ring, man.
Sometimes getting thrown in chairs, getting hit with tables, and all that stuff. But it makes for the best conversations because I'm not like one that's going to tell anybody, but somebody's always excited to tell somebody else. And I'm always like, oh, this is going to go. Like, I was just at a church gathering, and one of the people in our church was like, so I saw this video on your Facebook. And what about, I thought in my head, like, this is going to be an awkward conversation. It turned out to be really just a fun, random conversation about random things that we all do, then fun life experiences. But it would have never happened had I not had that to be the icebreaker. And I've also just met some of truly the most interesting and unique and artistic people in the world of wrestling. Like, it's just, I mean, you'd have a field day with it, BJ, minus the physical part. I know you don't necessarily want to be hit with things, but
the trash talking and all the stuff that goes on, I'd love that.
Well, just the creative process. I mean, you sometimes walk into a room and you don't even know the person, you barely know them, and then by the end of the night, you've basically put your life and your well-being in their hands. And you walk away with a bond that you'll never have with anyone else because you've had to trust this person not to drop you on your head.
I never thought about that.
And hurt you, and it could go really bad quick. So I mean, I've been really fortunate to be mixed into the world with some really solid human beings. But, I would have never thought I'd have these stories to share, and it's been freaking awesome.
Yeah, I am surprised, too. I thought for sure this would be something you would do as a lark, and if anything, you'd grab a microphone and be done.
That was the plan.
And then all of a sudden, here you are. You're actually you're a wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just nuts.
It's ridiculous, and it's awesome. I love it.
And as somebody who only kind of knows a little bit about wrestling, you're kicking ass at it. It's not like you're going in there half-assed.
Well, most of the time he's getting his ass kicked.
Well, but he's still doing all the moves well.
Most of the time. Oh, you mean he's doing well?
I'm not saying he's winning.
My ass.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
me getting my ass kicked well.
That's what it is. Okay.
It's been a blast.
I see what
Thank
you mean.
Yes. I appreciate you.
Yeah, so
I can't say that for anyone else in this room.
So we want to know. That's a fact. So we want to know, what is the most interesting life choice you have made? 206-421-ROCK. Text us at 77999.
Someone says, I was a Mormon missionary in Sweden. Not active at all anymore, but it was grateful for the experience.
Oh.
It's funny. Look, I am not a super religious guy, and anybody who listens to this show, I've had my problems with religion. But we got to have a nice dinner with the folks who run a YouTube board game review channel. They're pretty much the best of all of it. Mm-hmm. And they had a special thing where you could, pay with their Kickstarter and go have dinner with them. And I thought, I want to do this. I'd like to meet these guys. It turns out 2 of them were missionaries for their church. And that's how they met overseas, not knowing each other. And they ended up getting this lifelong bond of a friendship and created this business where one was a school teacher, but they both were missionaries, and they ended up going, hey, you know what? It'd be great if we could start doing these videos of board games. It would make it easier to play them. And they've turned it into, it's their full-time job. That's what they do for a living now.
That's cool.
And I thought, wow, they met I think in I don't know if it was Africa or the Amazon, but that's how they met, and they've been friends ever since. So again, you talk about, just doing something cool, which, look, I mean, these missionaries believe they're doing good work, and a lot of times they are helping people, so I thought that was really cool.
The only part I hate about that story is that you said Africa, and now I got that damn song in my head.
I absolutely just got stuck in there, too. Yeah, and all he did was just say that. I want
missionaries playing board games in Africa.
I know this is not the right, I don't mean this as any disrespect, but we went and saw the Book of Mormon, the Matt and Trey part, the South Park created play.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, they goof on the Mormon religion, but they also show them as like being really good people, right? And I think there's some people in the world of Mormonism that are just like, yeah, it wasn't really necessarily what we love, but it wasn't awful. But it's kind of like that seems like an insane experience, like two people going off on on an endeavor, and the life stories that you're going to share with that other person is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's when you think about it,
it's sad that that's the way I relate to it, but that's the only way I know.
It is kind of insane because they're young, and a lot of times they got to go out and do this, and then these guys have been best friends and created quite a business for each other.
I was first in '99. My husband and I, we sold everything, and we bought a Volkswagen camper. Spent the year driving from Seattle down the Pacific coast of Mexico with our 2 dogs. We jumped in a river with a crocodile. We surfed. We ate the best food ever, and it's something I'll never forget. That was the best time ever.
That's the dream.
Wow.
We had a coworker that ditched all being.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Yeah.
He just bailed on corporate America and got in his basically a camper, like a Volkswagen camper, and just traveled.
I haven't seen
his
updates.
Pictures have been fantastic.
Oh, you still get his pictures. I'm like, dang it, Facebook with all the other stupid things I get. His stuff I really want to see.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still doing it at this moment. He might be back here in Washington, but he went off and just kind of just experienced life. I think him and his dog.
That was a shocker to me because that's a guy that had, the button-down shirt and the suit jacket, and he was one of our top, sales performer guys. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what I'm going to do? And I'm like, wow, I would never have thought you'd be that guy to do that.
Yeah, he's like, this isn't the life for me, and I'm going to do things that I want to do. And dude, it's super inspirational. Looking at some of the pictures and just how happy he seemed.
Yeah. And then we're still here.
Yeah. Well, we got donuts, so that's cool.
Oh, there is that. So
we win.
It is donut day. We do win.
What donut company's bringing him donuts in the woods?
It's a good call.
None of
them. So there's a woman who has an insane list of rules for her husband at a bachelor party, and because of this insane list, she's going viral, including, by the way, this list includes a curfew, and that's not even the worst part of this bachelor party list. I'll tell you all about it at 7:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. Travis, if you're upside down in your mortgage, should you continue to make the payment?
Continuing to pay your mortgage or not is a complex decision because you're going to have to pay to live somewhere. You're going to have a housing payment. So continuing to make your house payment really depends on several factors. One is whether or not you have a second mortgage. The second one is how affordable your ongoing monthly mortgage payment is. Another issue is whether your mortgage is adjustable and you're facing an increase in your mortgage payments later on when interest rates go up. If you do have a second mortgage in this economy with the housing prices being down, oftentimes we can take off or strip off that second mortgage in a Chapter 13 case so that you'd only have the first mortgage to continue to pay.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. And thanks for listening.
You can tell when your car battery's dying. But with your water heater, you'll never know until it starts leaking. Before you buy another tank, consider a Navien tankless water heater. No storage tank to heat or leak. Lower energy bills and endless hot water for spa-like comfort. All backed by Navien's strong warranty. If your water heater is over 8 years old, it's time to check out Navien at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Count on Navien.